Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy. You didn't think that this episode was going to involve a homework assignment, did you? Well, it does. Now we're going to talk about internal benefits that you might not have thought about. And I call this internal because it is sort of more personal to you. And again, as we've talked about before, each situation is different. And we're looking at identifying possible sources of income, determining your eligibility, how to calculate how much you potentially will get, whether there are offsets. And in my view, this is just one part of the financial planning. Now, the four things I'm going to talk about can be a bit hard to talk about. And what do I mean by that? You obviously want to get a total picture of your income sources, since you're going to have to make up the difference between the loss of the income incurred, caused by your disability, and what you actually need to live on and maintain your lifestyle. Disability benefits are only designed to replace a fraction of your income, and you need to plan for changes in your finances and lifestyle. For example, when my father became disabled, we sold our house in Maryland and moved to Florida the day after I graduated from high school. At that point, it was cheaper to live in Florida than it was in Maryland. And that was just the beginning of the changes in our lifestyle. Now, as my family approached this issue, we considered four internal sources of income that could be tapped. And those include your spouse's income. So if your spouse is working, you need to consider the amount of their income. Other savings that you might have from investments, there might be child support or alimony, and there might be monies that your family or friend can or be willing to provide you. And that's where I think it gets a little hard, because nobody really wants to ask their family to help them out and be indebted to their family. And ultimately, you've got to add these sources to our Excel spreadsheet, and they may result in some hard family discussions. I know that firsthand because, as I said, we sold our house in Maryland and moved to Florida. My college plans were impacted. There were discussions with a buyout of my grandfather, who bought out my father's interest in the family business. A lot of tough decisions and discussions. So what I want you to do is, in this Excel spreadsheet, go through this video again if you need to. I want you to create that Excel spreadsheet. And if you haven't done it, I want you to stop and do it now. Again, we're talking about what's the benefit, when does it start, how long is it going to last, are there offsets or reductions? And as you can see, when we do this longitudinally, we're going to be kind of making a time map, if you will, so that you and your family can understand how your financial circumstances may change over time. And that obviously can impact your financial planning. So we're going to add those to your Excel spreadsheet, and then we're going to try to figure out, what it is you may have to do to make up the difference. It might be that it's perfect. It might be that it's perfect for a while, but then you are going to have to make some lifestyle changes based on selling the house or moving or going to your family. And so I think that the consideration of these factors is important, and it's better to confront them now, when I think you have more flexibility and more capable, if you will, of handling it than later. And of course, one of the other factors that needs to be considered is, what would happen if the disability insurance company denied your benefits or terminated your benefits? That's a big factor in all of these calculations. And unfortunately, based on my experience, there's a good likelihood that at some point in your disability claim, those benefits were denied or terminated. That will potentially pull the rug out, if you will, under you and your family's financial situation. I'd rather have you think about that now than later. Got it? Tough episode, lots of homework, but I want you to be doing this for your own peace of mind and your family's peace of mind. Our family did it when I was a teenager. A lot of tough discussions. My parents did try to hide a lot of what was going on. that really weren't successful, because kids are smarter than you think they are. And ultimately, this is something that I think ultimately is a family decision. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Winning Isn't Easy. Please subscribe to our podcast. That way you'll be notified every time there's a new episode. And I hope you tune in to next week's episode. Don't forget to tell your family and friends, because we love having people interact with us and to learn more about their ERISA disability claim. Thanks.